Hey guys, so this video I want to talk to you guys about something that a lot of trans people experience, and that is finding that acceptance and that understanding from your parents or a parent, if it's that case, or guardian, or like anything like that. So, unfortunately, for people either in my age or older, a lot is like been in a transition as far as timeline. I was born in 1994. I recently 24. And so what that ends up meaning is a lot of things that happened very recently as far as talking about some of these issues and some of these things that exist. And these things have existed far before they were talked about openly, but they were always there. But for a lot of people, they are under the impression that these are things that are kind of just coming up out of nowhere. So I know there are a couple people in my life that I have talked to who, when it came to being transgender and coming out, that they thought like I was looking for attention, or I was just trying to do it just because a lot of other people were doing it. And first of all, those two things are incredibly disrespectful to say to anyone. Like, that's incredibly rude to say that, and to think that somebody's trying to change themselves in such a dramatic way for attention. It's not like I'm getting my hair done. I want to get a new hair. Like, why do I want to do like a style and everything like that? Because I want to look different. I want to do something different with myself. I want to have like a transformation. I want to feel different. I want to feel like I'm moving forward. I'm progressing in my life. Like, these are all legitimate reasons. And just when you could try to say like, oh, I don't know. The more and more I talk about it, the more it just really upsets me that like anyone would assume that somebody's doing anything for attention, because there are so many reasons that somebody might want to do something. And saying like, oh, you're changing your hair because you want attention, or you're wearing like an outfit that stands out because you want attention. Like, I mean, maybe they are, but maybe there's something more like serious involved with that. And who the heck are you to judge? Like, come on. And like who are you to judge that? I mean, like, come on. Like okay. Who put it in your mind that you think that you know that somebody's doing this for attention, or that you believe that this is what people do for attention? Like, what is, like, come on, like, seriously, what's going on in your brain right there for that? And then anyways, so these people are saying, like, I've gotten that before as far as like, oh, you're doing it for attention and everything like that. Okay, yeah, moving along, you end up having that period where people who have known you for a while, right, have to get used to it. But with like friends and everything like that, or coworkers, it may be a little tricky because they pronounce your name and everything like that, which, depending on how long they've known you, is varying levels of difficulty, and also how much effort they put into it is also varying levels of difficulty. Like, if they actually care to put forth the effort, it's not that bad. But then if they don't care to put in the effort, or they barely care to put in the effort, it's going to seem a lot worse. So there's that. But when it comes to a parent, that is so much harder, and that is almost as difficult. I mean, I'm not a parent, so it's hard for me to say, but at least from what I would assume and I would gather, that's almost as like challenging as coming to that realization yourself and realizing that you are transgender. And what I mean by that is just like you were growing up your entire life being told that you were one gender, so in my case, being told I was a boy, everything like that, like, that had a huge thing where it was like, am I a boy? Like, I'm being told I'm a boy, but I don't feel like I'm a boy. I don't feel like I'm a guy. Like, I don't feel like I don't feel like that. And you have that, just that constant societal demand that is what you are, that is who you are. And for parents, it's the same thing. Is, you know, the doctor's like, oh, it's a boy, or oh, it's a girl when you're born. And like your parents like, oh, okay, you know, like, why are they a boy? They have a penis. Well, I have a penis and I'm a dad and I'm a guy, so that makes it a boy. Okay, cool. Like basic bare minimal stuff here. So like, I'm playing with something. So like basic, like bare minimal stuff here. And that's such a really closed-minded view on it. And that's part of the reason why it's so difficult for a lot of parents and older generations of people to understand, is because they've been alive, and this stuff, they might not have never ever met a transgender person or heard of one. There are those that have, and like, power to you guys for being in the older generation and not freaking out about it and being cool with it and understanding that everyone's different. Like, I love you people for that. But the others, you know, especially in like my case with my parent, that's not the case. So the problem with that came from, first of all, it's very, like, my dad kind of had a really difficult time ever feeling like he could express himself in general. And a lot of that was due to like varying things. You know, like, my dad didn't have an easy childhood growing up either. Different reasons than me, and he had different things going on than I did. But like, he had his own things, right? So he had all of these things going on, and he thinks like, oh, you know, like, okay, what is taught to you in your life? Like, what is the expected thing as like for your life? And it's like, oh, okay, you know, get married, have a family, have kids, have the kids succeed you, get grandkids. Bam, there you go. Now you're a grandparent. Whoop-de-doo. Cool. But all of that, in a way, gets kind of turned upside down when one of those kids ends up like actually being a gender that you did not think that they were. And for a parent, I can imagine that this is very, very jarring. So depending on how like long it was before the child comes out to you, and they could come out at 17, they could come out at 15, they could come out at 20 or 23. Like, depending on how long that period is, those are years of you as a parent being with your child and believing that that is what they are. Even if in your child's head, like in my head, I was trying to deal with everything that was going on. I was trying to make sense of it all. I was trying to understand why I wanted to do some things, why I was told that I couldn't do them just because I was a boy. But again, I never ever felt like a boy, and I thought that I was like, something was wrong with me, like I was messed up, like I just was like something was wrong with me, and I never felt right. And like, you know, that's not always conveyed to a parent. It is sometimes, but it's not always conveyed to a parent, especially if you and your child don't exactly have like the most communicative relationship, which my dad and I don't. I try to communicate with my dad, but again, with like my dad's history and everything like that, it's difficult for him to communicate in a verbal sense. It's very hard for him, and that's fine. And that in no way is disparaging my dad or saying anything negative about any other person's parent or parents. who have trouble or have a difficult verbal relationship, right? But what it comes down to when you transition is it makes it a lot more difficult to talk to them about it, because they have to struggle and adjust to everything that's going on with you, but you might have had a lot more time to process everything. Chances are, if you're coming out to them, you did process everything. You put forth the time. You put forth a lot of like self-searching and discovery and enlightenment. So for you, you're already at that point where you understand that, you know, you were misidentified at birth. You were identified as a gender that you are not, based on a physical body part. And that's really what it is with like being transgender, is you're identified based on your sexual organ. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you as the individual see yourself as that gender. And that's what a lot of people seem to have trouble understanding, is your gender is not defined by your reproductive parts. That is something that was come up with by people who just came up with the words. Like, that was what it was. Nobody from the get-go was like, you're a man, you're a woman, do stuff. Like, that's like, any person can look at that logically, or should look at that logically and be like, like, something's a little off here. So, yeah, you know, like, little thoughts there. But anyways, so with all of that stuff going on, your parent is having a difficult time and trying to adjust to all of the changes with you. And again, because you're in a spot where maybe you're trying to express yourself a little bit more, maybe you're wearing things, makeup, things like, you know, I'm speaking from my sense. So like, you're wearing things, makeup, like stuff like that. That's shocking, because they don't understand all the time what like that stark change is I still have a lot of my video game shirts, and I still like wearing my video game shirts. But when I go out, because I don't want to be mislabeled as a boy, I don't wear them, right? Until I feel comfortable in my body, and I know that, at least for the most part, I won't be mislabeled or misidentified if I wear a neutral shirt, like a video game shirt or something like that. Like, so I'm wearing incredibly feminine outfits. And first of all, I love them. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't wear them, or I'd have worn something else. But from a parent's perspective of their child, and seeing their child liking to wear video game shirts and everything like that, like, that's kind of difficult. You know, I kind of always liked jeans, but I never wore shorts, and I didn't like anything that showed my legs, because I was always super self-conscious of like leg hair and stuff like that. When I went swimming, a lot of times I wanted to wear shirts. It was like on and off periods through ages, but like certain ages I was more self-conscious. I always wore shirts when I would swim. Sometimes I would take the shirt off before I jumped in the pool, and I would hate leaving the pool, and like I would immediately go to a towel and immediately get my shirt on before I started to walk again. Just things like that. Like, there were a lot of things that that like I did just because I wasn't comfortable with myself at that time. But now, because I take care of myself, and I'm expressing myself the way that I feel comfortable with and that I'm happy with, I'm just, you know, I'm wearing skirts. I wear shorts from time to time. I still like to wear a lot of jeans, but like, cause like, I don't know, like I like form-fitting things. So like nice jeans, or like nice leggings and stuff like that. Like, those are cool. But I like shorts. I like skirts. I really like short shorts. It's just hard with what I've got in that area. But there's ways around it. Anyways, But you're seeing your kid doing all of these things and dressing up the way that they are. And it makes it very difficult for you to process everything slowly, because in a way, it's getting shoved in your face. But your kid is not trying to shove it in your face. Your kid is just trying to feel comfortable. And that's something that I think a lot of parents really should understand is your child just wants to feel comfortable. They're not doing it in a way to be disrespectful to you or your values or what you believe in or anything like that. They're not doing it to incite any negative response from you. They want to feel comfortable in their own home where they should be able to feel the most comfortable. And that's, I think, the first step that parents need to take to understand their child. And I have, unfortunately, there's a lot of difficulty in that stage with my father. And unfortunately, it makes things at home kind of difficult. Like, I'm incredibly mindful of what I'm wearing and when I'm showing myself, because I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable, because I know he's trying to process it and everything like that. But, you know, stuff ends up getting said that is very hurtful and very harsh to me and ends up hurting me. So it's a vicious cycle. And like that's the thing, is when it's a vicious cycle, a lot of times it feels like there's no ending, and it feels like it's only going to get worse and worse. But as hard as it is for me with recent things going on with my home situation and like everything with my father, I still am believing that it will get better, and I hope that it does, so I can go back to this video, see everything, and then follow up on it, talk about more things, talk about what changed and things like that. And hopefully I'll be able to do those videos, you know? Yeah, so hopefully there's that. But anyways, I hope you guys take it easy. You have a great day. Bye-bye.